everybody. I'm Rosemary Levac with Second Nature Healing and Avini Health. Yay! Thank you all for being here, whether you're live or watching the recording. I appreciate you. And, you know, it's just wonderful to start out 2024 with thinking differently. I'm going to say differently. In the email that I sent out, I said go big or go home. And there are ways to think about big that I want to talk about. And Bev, I think I want to bring you on first because what you said to me earlier today sounded really interesting. Would you care to share what you wanted to talk about today?
Sure, I will. Can you all see this? What do you see on that page?
A dot.
Okay, what do you see when you look at this besides a dot? Do you see anything besides a dot?
Space.
Yes, that's what we want to see, is all that space. So that's the area we can dream in. We've got Avini in the middle, but we can dream and do all these things. We've got lots of space to do it. It just comes to our thinking. So that's why we're going to talk about thinking today.
Cool.
Think and grow rich.
Somebody beat you to it, Bev.
Well, we've got actually, I could talk about the magic of thinking big. Is a book that one time I had a friend who I lost her, but one time and she said, Bev, because I was going through a hard time, she says, you need to be reading this book every month. So at that point, that was what I did, and it was great because it got my head out of where I was into where I wanted to be.
Is that what you mean by that sheet of paper with a dot on it? Where we're currently thinking is inside the dot, right?
That's right, yes.
Uh-huh. Okay. And so what does thinking outside the dot mean?
Well, we're thinking outside. Well, that's where we want to be instead of, for example, there's fears that we have, right? So we can think of things that we're going to go out of our fears. I can just read you one little thing here.
Yes.
And fear of what other people think and say is a good one.
Mm-hmm.
So make sure that what you plan to do is right, then do it. No one ever does anything worthwhile for which he is not criticized. So we have to think outside the box, where we're going to be, what we're going to do, and do it, and not think about the fear of people. Put it in proper perspective. These people are worrying about themselves, not about you.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they're most of the time looking at you, admiring what you're doing and the fact you're keeping at it.
What are they thinking about when they think about themselves, Bev?
Well, mostly it's self-criticism. And so it even talks about people who use big words and big sentences and that they're usually feel inferior and they're trying to make themselves more adequate by doing that.
Okay. I think it's really important to think about what other people are concerned about. That gives us some conversation, right? Because I have found that whenever I talk to a person, let me just give you an example. I went to a chambers meeting. This was years ago, right? I thought I'll check out the chamber. And the chamber is, of course, where you meet other business people, you talk about things. And it wasn't just the chamber, it was lots of other networking events.
Can you hear this?
What I discovered was most people who wanted to talk to me talked about themselves. They wanted to sell me something and they wanted to talk to me about their business, about their stuff. It was all about them. And I just was listening. Nobody ever asked me anything. Nobody was ever concerned about me. It was just about them. It was like I was fresh meat and they were all mosquitoes. That's
Ow.
how I felt. Ow, right? How should it be? How should a conversation go? Well, I was at my club today and I decided to try a water class. I was doing,
Those are fun.
yeah, well, the knee thing is still, I'm trying to care for my knee doing low impact stuff. So I did this water class for the first time. There were probably 20 people in that pool. It was very busy, very crowded. And I mean, we had lots of space. There were lots of people there. Everybody was having fun. I could see everybody. I could, we were all splashing around, having a good time, good music. And then afterward, there was, the jacuzzi, get the jets going on the knee, talking to people in the jacuzzi about what's going on. Someone needed a new mattress. We talked about that. Somebody else was going on a trip. And later on in the locker room area, the gal who was next to me talking about a trip was next to me in the locker room. And she said, she was going to Singapore. It was a cruise thing. I said, what are you doing to support your immune system?
Nice.
Okay. Because what do people think about when they're going to travel? They don't want to get sick, right?
Yeah.
And they're concerned about being away from home. They're going to eat strange foods. They're going to do all this. So I asked a question that got her thinking about these things. We had a short conversation. It was never about me. It was all about her. What was she going to do? There was another gal listening. She said, "Can I have your card?" And so afterward, I sat down with her and we had a very short chat. She said, "I know a lot of people who don't want to go to the doctor. They would rather go to the Chinese herb shop and get some Chinese herbs." I said, "Yeah,
That's your tribe.
I think so. Yeah."
Yeah.
I told her about giving Chinese herbs to my dog and how that was really helpful. So we struck a chord. It's not ever about making a sale. It's about making a connection and having a conversation, right? And the first conversation isn't usually about this.
That's called marrying them before you meet them.
Right. You want to date them first before you marry them, right? So, oh my goodness. So we're going to have a little bit of fun today. Is that all right? Okay. So I've been reading a book that I actually got at one of my networking things that I used to belong to, a business association that used to meet straight from me. And they are Unbreakable Rules of Marketing. First, tell me, what is marketing? What does marketing mean to you?
Visibility.
Yeah, visibility, audibility, tasteability, being out there, right?
Spreading the word.
Yes, spreading the word, right? How is marketing usually happening in your perception? I'm not talking Avini right now. I'm talking any other company out there in the world. How are you learning about them?
Usually reading.
Ads. Oops, sorry. Go ahead, sir.
Advertising, I heard ads.
Mhm.
Yeah. Anything else?
Well, they have ads on internet, ads on TV. There's ads everywhere. They use athletes, so that's where their money goes, is on all this advertisement, right? And that's
Right.
why we're different. We just do person to person.
Mail campaigns, posters, email. I mean, there's a million ways. Radio, television.
Absolutely. Okay, absolutely. So what they're doing and what we're doing isn't really so different. They're doing it in a very big way. They're spending a lot of money to reach a lot of people all at once, right? You know, Taco Bell, Hertz Rent a Car, you know, think of all the big companies in the world, the computers and the whatever, Home Depots, all the stores, you know, they've all gone from paper advertising. Nobody's doing paper anymore. They're digital, they're email, they're reaching people, getting on their email list for lots of reasons to get a freebie, a lead magnet, posting of sales. You know, there's lots of ways to do this. And we have found that a very, very successful way to market is to make a connection, right? So they're connecting with, well, they're just kind of throwing spaghetti against the wall and hoping it's going to stick, right? But what we're doing is inviting people to connect with us. And what's the one thing that we have that nobody else has? I mean, you as an individual, you as an individual, you know, what's the one thing you have that nobody else has, that I don't have, that you have?
Our own individual life experience.
Yes, I don't have your experience. I don't have your story. I don't have your friends. I don't have those things, but you have your story, you have your experiences, and you have your friends. And that is your marketing bundle, your marketing package. Shall we expand on that a little bit?
Mhm.
Yeah. How often are you telling your story? And do you have a story? Because we've spent some time talking about stories, right? Yeah. What goes into a story? Who's the villain? Who's the, you know, who's the hero in the story? It's not you. You're not the hero. They're the hero, right? I don't have to repeat all of this, but in telling your story, how often are you telling your story? Are you telling it to everybody you talk to?
Mm-mm.
No? Maybe you should,
When you
right?
feel the opportunity is right,
Yes,
in
yeah,
a taxi cab with a captive audience, that would be a good.
Email.
yes, that's right. Telling your story so that it relates to them. Because if it's always you, you're going to be the mosquito looking for fresh meat, right? But if you find out, if you're in a conversation long enough to find out what their interest is, like I found out from that woman in the locker room, she knows a lot of people who don't want to go to the doctor.
Yes.
Hey, so I told her a story. I told her about my dog and how I'm using Chinese herbs in conjunction with the other things that I'm doing. Because, you know, she mentioned Chinese herbs. I'm going to talk about Chinese herbs, right? Because that's a connection. And so I told her about my dog and how the vet wanted to poison my dog to kill some mites. And I said, well, that's not going to happen, right? They give poison, you know, some sort of insecticide, basically, to kill mites. Well, that's not going to happen. I'm not going to do that to my dog. And she said, we just have to do it for a couple of months. I said, well, we're not going to do that. So she sent me to my holistic vet that I've known for years and years. And he got me started on some Chinese herbs that go along with our cell defender and our Z-immunity and our nano silver, because all of this problem happened before we had nano silver. It was when she was a baby and we didn't have nano silver then. But now we have nano silver. So nano silver, I know, is going to take care of a lot of issues along with other things. And when she needs it, I have some Chinese herbs too. Yeah.
Mhm.
But this is the connection. This is the connection that she asked me for my card. She said, it's not going to happen right now, but I will reach out to you. I will call you. And I said, and I will see you again. You know why? Because I'm going back to my club and I'm going to take my class again and I'm going to be in the jacuzzi again and I'm going to meet all my new friends there. I decided where you hang out is really important.
Mhm.
Right, Bev? Where you hang out is important. Don't hang out where there are sick people. Don't hang out where there are people who are dying and sick because they're not necessarily going to want something safe and natural. They're going to want extreme measures, right? And okay, they can have extreme measures, but if they want to be well, if they want to be stronger, okay, hang out where those people are. Yeah.
Mhm.
Hmm. All right. I wrote down a few things that I want to share with you. What does this mean to you? Consistency beats ability.
Mhm.
What does that mean?
I may not always have the right words, but if I keep at it, something's gonna stick.
That's right. That's right. You learn every time
Mhm.
you have a conversation, every time you try something, every person you reach, you can come back to that same person and try again. That's okay. You can do that because you've got different words, a different day, a different experience. Something has changed in their lives. Something has
I've also learned
changed.
something that if our conversation can create a little curiosity on
Mhm.
their part, there's a better chance of more connection.
That's right. You want them to be curious.
Mhm.
You want them to start asking questions because if they're not curious and not asking questions, they've built a wall.
Mhm.
Bev and I have experience with that, right?
Yes.
Oh my freaking word. I have to be careful what I say on here. I'm recording. No, we had a Zoom call with a person, and this person kept putting up walls. I kept asking questions. We wanted to know more about the situation. We kept learning and knowing more. And every time I asked a question, I was getting no, 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 no. And finally, my last question was, well, if you come across somebody that you think might be interested in these products, because this person kind of liked the idea of the products. I mean, there wasn't an objection to the products. The objection was to, Bev, what would you say was the objection to network marketing, and the objection was to the price of the products, those two things, right?
Yes, yeah. And Canadians are poor.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Well, it's not just Canadians, right? It's
That's
a
right.
lot of people everywhere, right? So it wasn't just this person's objection. But when I said, would you refer them to me? The answer was no.
Really?
Yeah, yeah, it was no. Because I can just send them to avinihealth.com. That was the answer. And I'm going, really? So that was a no. And I'm okay with that because it's one no. What did I learn from it? What would you have learned from that? Would you stop having conversations because you got so many no's, one after the other in the same conversation? Would you stop?
Maybe temporarily.
No, you wouldn't. No,
No.
no, you wouldn't. You wouldn't stop. You wouldn't say, oh, poor me. I didn't get a yes.
No, I think if it had been maybe a 20-minute conversation, there was no, maybe say, let me give you some material and at your leisure, take a look at it, and please feel free to get back in touch with me, and I'll be back in touch with you in a week.
Okay, so you could do that. Bev, what do you think?
No, I wouldn't do that.
Well,
What would you do?
you should also know that this was like our second or third conversation. It wasn't.
Yeah, and he's had some information, so it's, yeah.
But you're right. Information is good, but this person had information. This person had a chance to look at the videos.
Mhm.
In fact, this person even was actually excited about the possibilities of what these products could do. Loved the mushrooms, loved the idea of the zeolite, loved all of that. And it was still a no.
Your energy is important too, that you can't let somebody bring you down.
Right.
Yes.
You have to,
Right.
let's
Yeah.
move around, let's move on type thing.
Yes, move on. And
Mhm.
so with this one individual, I get to talk about this experience now. I get to share with you how I felt about it and how, it was like, wow, what just happened here? It's like something was missed. It wasn't me, it wasn't Bev. Bev was on a 3-way Zoom call with me. It wasn't that, but something was missed, and it's not for that person. Okay, next. You've got to get used to the word next,
Mhm.
because consistency beats ability. I've got it here in my notes. Consistency beats ability. So did I have the right words? Yeah, I had the 3-way going. I had the right words. He had the information. Everything was right, was right, was right. But he had a belief system that he was poor. He had a belief system that he didn't want to sell anything. That was his belief system. Beliefs are really strong, right? Why am I going to take my time to fight a belief? I'm not gonna fight anything.
Mm-mm.
I think another good thing about consistency, because it's happened to me,
Mhm.
where I don't even recall what it was, but I'd get an email about this, every couple of months, and I would erase it. But finally, it comes at a time when something happened in my life that now it makes sense. And it was because of consistency that now I'm interested in what was just boring me, and I just brushed it aside. But something can happen to change all of that. And that would be from consistency. If you just let them go, you'd never know.
Exactly. And so to put all of this together for this one individual, yes, I will follow up. It won't be right away.
Mm-mm.
I'm going to wait until another season has passed. And maybe some new information will come up. Maybe something will, be revealed that I think will relate to this person. I'll reach out again. I'm not done.
No. Mm-mm.
Never done. But
Mm.
because things do change, right, Marilyn? Things change for individuals. Something might have happened where either they change their mind or a need changes or something happens. But the consistency here is that you are consistent in what you are doing, that you tell your story, that you connect, that you have conversations, that you're doing this every day, that you are consistent, and that beats ability. Yeah, I have faith in you. I know that you are consistent because here you are. Look at you. You're here. You've shown up again, and I'm delighted that you've shown up again. And maybe, eventually we'll have other people on the call too, but I'm sure people are watching the recordings. I know they are. And I'm very happy about that. If you're watching this as a recording, just shoot me an email and let me know that you're watching this. Okay, here's another one. Think past where you are now.
Big one.
How so, Star?
Just look at your past and where you were then and where you are now, and you can get an idea of what you can do in the future. You just keep going.
Mm-hmm.
You learn new things, you experience new things, you reach out more,
Mm-hmm.
and it's momentum.
It is momentum, and it's all of those things. And it's also this. If you reach out to the same people or to the same kinds of people all the time, you're going to die. They eventually die. It's all, they're all gone, right? And so you have to find
New people.
new people, new ways of connecting. So I'm going to take a little sidestep here just for a moment because I've got stuff circled all over my page. I want to tell you about Arm & Hammer. It's in this book that I've read, Arm & Hammer baking soda. What do you know about Arm & Hammer baking soda? What color is the box?
Yellow.
Yeah, kind of an orangey.
Mhm.
Yes. Okay. It hasn't changed in
In years.
years and years and years and years and years, right? And their logo, an
Same.
arm and a hammer, right? Arm and Hammer. I don't get it. I don't know what the logo means, but they haven't changed it. They're not trying to change how they look. They haven't changed what's in the box. What do you use baking soda for?
Baking,
Okay, you would
Yep.
use it for baking. It's a leavening agent, right?
put in your refrigerator to absorb odors.
That's right. You can do that too. What else?
You can
Bee
use it for
stings.
toothpaste if you need to.
Toothpaste? Yeah. Mhm. I learned that if I have on a glass stovetop, if I have something that fell on the burner and gets all crusty and burnt on there, you know how you get it off? Baking soda
Really?
and
Thank
water.
you for that. I have something on my stove as we speak.
Yeah, so you make it a little bit wet and you put some baking soda on it so it becomes a paste, and you just use your hand, just kind of scrub it in, and it'll get off whatever is crusted on your
Okay,
glass.
cool. New use.
Right?
Yeah.
But do they advertise that?
Uh-uh.
Well, they figured it out that they had to because they were selling it for baking only. But then they realized that there were a lot of other uses that people had for it. And so they started asking people, what are you using our baking soda for? And they found out that they were putting it in laundry. They've got a laundry detergent now as a result. They were putting it in toothpaste. Baking soda has been put into toothpaste. So it's used for all these other things. Yes, and it can settle in, your indigestion, change the pH of your body. Rick talks about how on these medical shows, somebody's coming into the ER, they say, give them so many units of bicarb, right? Bev, isn't that a thing? You give them bicarb. Bicarb is bicarbonate of soda, baking soda, because it stabilizes the pH of the body. So Arm & Hammer thought beyond the dot. Bev, can you hold up that picture again, please? Yeah, they thought beyond the dot.
Yeah.
They thought it was only for baking. But it turned out it wasn't just for baking, it was for all these other things. So I'm going to ask you right now, what are some, and we should make a list, what are 3 ways, 3 things you can use Cell Defender for that it doesn't say on the bottle and the company doesn't advertise? What are 3 things you can use Cell Defender for, or 3 different ways you can use Cell Defender that it doesn't say on the bottle and the company doesn't advertise?
Well, I use it in my eyes.
Okay, in your eyes. Why do you use it in your eyes?
just to make sure they're cleaned out. And I have to go see the eye doctor in a couple of weeks, so I want to make sure I'm in the best possible condition.
It gets
Correct.
rid of cataracts. Also,
Well-
wound care.
Okay, so we don't say it gets rid of
I
cataract.
am to you guys. I realize it's being recorded, so.
Yeah, so we're
Right.
not making medical claims, but we're talking about how people use Cell Defender. Yes, they put it in
How
their
about
body.
age spots, maybe age spots on your
Okay,
face?
so a topical use of some kind of spots on the face. Okay, age spots. Yes, people
A
have
bruise.
on a bruise. Okay, I'm making notes. Are you making notes?
Mm-hmm.
Layering.
Layering.
Layering. Let's talk about layering. I love layering. I've been using it a lot lately. Tell me about layering, Bev.
Well, you layer the cell defender on first. And
On
then
what? On what?
on well, for example, it just depends. If it's something that's swollen, as Star was saying, it will help the swelling. Like if it's a bruise or whatever, I would put that on, and then I would put on the plus relief gel after I let that go on for a couple of minutes.
Yep.
And that helps, it helps the pain and the inflammation. And so it just makes what you're using more effective because it helps remove the toxins right then and there.
Absolutely. And so here's another way that involves layering, because I'm doing layering on my knee. I'm putting Cell Defender right on my knee, on the skin. And at first it felt, I know Marcy says to do this. Marcy reminded me to do this. And I haven't been doing it. Okay, so I'm going to put drops of Cell Defender on my knee. I felt it immediately, energetically. I felt it. It just went right, just opened things up, and taking it internally at the same time. Why?
It's like a magnet.
Yes, it's like a magnet. So the Cell Defender you take internally is going to go right to that spot where you put it on topically. It's going to go.
Didn't somebody say something about the bottoms of your feet, or was that another product?
Bottoms of your feet. Yes, bottoms of.
And what would be the result? I mean, why
Well-
would you do that?
Okay, because have you heard of reflexology? Excuse me, reflexology.
Mm-hmm.
Reflexology is they work on the bottom of your feet, right? Why? Because you have acupressure points all over your hand, all over your feet, all over your ears, all over your face, right? If you put Cell Defender on acupressure points, you are activating the energy centers of that. So if I go to my acupuncturist, she burns mugwort. So she makes this little pyramid of mugwort and she puts it on a particular spot and then she lights it on fire so it gets all hot. It brings the chi to the surface. That's what she is explaining about the mugwort that she's burning. It smells amazing, right? Mugwort essential
Love
oil.
it.
It's so amazing, right? Well, it brings the chi to the surface. I believe that Cell Defender is doing something similar. It's bringing the energy to the surface because you're putting it on topically. So it doesn't say that on the bottle. The company doesn't talk about that, but people are using it in layering. So what I've been doing is putting Cell Defender on my knee topically, taking it internally, magnet right there, and then putting the Plus Relief gel on topically, spraying Plus Relief in my mouth orally. And then I let everything dry. I also have an essential oil I like to add on last. I add that. So this is layering, right? And you can use our Avini products in this way, and you can combine it with other tools that you're using. I'll use tuning forks right on top of it afterward. I'll use Reiki on top of it. And so any practitioner who is using any kind of treatment, massage, Reiki, sound, whatever, if you're using the Avini products first, it's going to make all the energy stuff work faster, better, more profound, People who are using Avini products with their other healing modalities are going to up the game. It's amazing how easy. I feel like I'm cheating, honestly. I put I put this stuff on people's spines, like the
Mhm.
plus relief on a person's
Yep.
spine, and then I use Reiki and tuning forks. It's almost like I don't have to do anything because it's so easy. They get results so quickly.
Mhm.
Okay, I'm making a list. We put it in your eyes. You put it on your skin, like for spots, age spots, or discolorations, bruises, wounds. Yeah, I heard wounds.
Yep.
Okay. Layering, bottoms of the feet. I'm going to say acupressure points. All right. Any other way to use it that's not on the bottle and not advertised by the company? How are you using it?
I've heard
Could
some
you put
people
it
say
on,
they were
on
brushing
your
their
food?
teeth.
Okay, one at a time.
Sorry.
Marilyn?
Could you put it on your food like dinner? You could put drops in your mashed potatoes or gravy or
Yes.
whatever.
Yes, you can put it in your food. In fact, a lot of people for their animals are putting it in their pet food,
All
right?
right. Mhm.
Or on a treat. Yes, absolutely. In food or beverage. Okay, what else? Yeah, you can eat this stuff. You all right, I'm going to tell you one way that my friend Elizabeth, one of my students, to get her mother to take this without her mother knowing, she put the drops into the straw
Draw. Yeah.
where her mother was going to be drinking water. So she snuck it in through the straw. And pretty
Cool.
much the next day, her mother was out of bed. Yeah,
Mhm.
it was really fast. So putting it in somebody's straw, in the straw of a water bottle.
Well, I can tell you, I put it in my ear and up my nose.
Oh, yes, yes, yes.
In your
Ear,
what?
Especially if you have sinus issue.
absolutely. In fact, Elizabeth did that. Can I tell her story? She said that she lost her sense of smell because there was so much stuff in her sinuses that it got really clogged. And even though she had a surgery to clear that all out, it came back, right? So she lost her sense of smell. And then she said when after she lost her sense of smell, she started smelling what smelled like rotten meat. Well, you know what that is, right?
Yuck, yeah.
She wasn't smelling anything out there in the world. She was smelling what was going on inside of her sinuses. It smelled like rotting meat. So what did she do? She took Cell Defender drops. She laid back on the bed and she put the drops up each nostril. And very soon after, all this stuff started coming out. Really
Ew.
stuff.
But
You
good.
know, she got her sense of smell back. She cleared everything out because she put the Cell Defender up her nose.
Hmm.
Yeah.
I don't think this has anything to do with it, but I'll put it out. I had a friend that had Parkinson's. She has passed now, but one of the things that happens with Parkinson's is you lose your sense of smell, or, well, I shouldn't say taste. It was
Taste.
her sense
Oh.
of taste, which I think is connected. Would it not be connected?
It
Mhm.
is.
I wonder if, that certainly wouldn't be a cure-all or anything, but I wonder if that would have been something to try.
Well, what does Rick always say? Bev, do you know what Rick says?
I'm not sure to where you're going, so go ahead.
It can't hurt, and it might
Can't
help.
hurt it. Yeah.
Yeah, yes.
It
You
can't.
could actually put it in your neti pot.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah.
Exactly. Because it can be mixed with other things. What do people usually put in a neti pot? I have no idea. Is it warm?
Salt.
Warm.
What is it?
water.
What are you talking about? What's
Saline
it?
solution.
It's a neti pot. It's
What's that?
used in Ayurvedic medicine. And it's looks like a little itty bitty teapot. And you put a solution in and you pull it into your sinuses and it clears your sinuses out.
Yeah, people use it to
never-
kind of wash things out. It goes up.
Wash
one,
things
out,
out.
Salt water, right? Like
Salt
a-
water.
Yeah.
Okay, can you put zeolite in there? Can you put our cell defender?
Mhm.
Yeah, of course you can. Or you can just go straight for the purest.
Yeah, I go for the pure. Just do it.
Just do it. And nano silver, by the way, you can also do nano silver up your sinuses. Again, not something that is advertised on the bottle. The company doesn't advertise it, but it's like a baking soda thing. It's an Arm and Hammer thing. We don't just use it for baking. We don't just use Cell Defender for taking out heavy metals because it helps the body in so many ways. We just have to figure out how it's going to work for us, how it's going to help us.
You know, on our Tuesday call, somebody said, and I don't know what product it was, but that their face was like the bottom of a baby's butt. It was so soft. I don't know if you were on the call, but I don't know what product, if it was nano silver, whatever that they had used on their face.
Well, I think they're using a little of everything. Plus Relief will also do that.
Wow, okay. I wouldn't have thought of put Plus Relief on my face, but certainly nano silver or Cell
Well,
Defender, I would.
do some,
Actually, I've used it for, there's a skin condition that looks a little bit like a rash and it's a very rosy color that any dermatologist will tell you, you will never get rid of it. It's a virus. So yeah, you will, because if you use nano silver and zeolite, it will go away.
yes, totally. Yes, it will.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. So putting it in your, we said up your nose. Bev, you also said in your ears. Can you tell me what would bring you to put it in your ears?
An earache.
An earache. So you put it where it hurts, in other words.
Yes, yeah.
Okay, so ears, okay,
But
where,
remember, when I do that, I just make sure it's off the top. Off the top, and don't shake the bottle prior to, right?
for the ears?
Yes, yeah.
Why?
Or for the nose, I just use the clear part so that the,
Oh, I just shake the bottle and use the whole thing. Same for the
in your
eye.
ear,
Oh,
in your
yeah.
ear.
Anywhere, anywhere.
I use it in my eyes like that.
Uh-huh,
Just shake it up and put it in.
yep.
The,
Because crystals are so fine. I don't have a concern with it. It feels fine. Yeah.
I keep a bottle, one for my eyes, one for ears, and one for nose. One for my mouth.
Okay. Well, I think that's a good idea. I like to keep a bottle at my desk, a bottle at my sink in near the bedroom, and a
Bottle.
bottle
by the
in
computer.
my purse, and a bottle in the kitchen. So four, four bottles around the house, just so that it's easily accessible. And oh, and there's one up here in my healing space too. Okay, so what I have on the list is we're using it in the eyes, on spots, anywhere it hurts, bruises, wounds, layering with other products, layering with other modalities, bottoms of your feet, acupressure points, in food or beverage, in a straw for somebody's water bottle, ears, wherever it hurts, in your nose. Did we miss anything? Where else can you use it?
On your toothbrush, right? On your,
Yes, yes.
your
You can
toothbrush?
brush your teeth with it. Yes, absolutely. I love how my teeth feel after I brush my teeth with Cell Defender. Absolutely. Yeah. Hmm. How about for your animals?
Mm-hmm.
You'd use it for your pets, right? And now we have new pet products in the tube that are coming out. Did you catch the corporate call?
Yeah.
We've got Cell Defender and Plus Relief tubes in a gel, and that'll be ready in a week or two. So we've got an easy way, a flavorful way that even though we've been using Cell Defender for years and years and years, for me, almost 18 years, I've been using Cell Defender, just putting drops in my dog's mouth. Actually, Bridie will lick it out of my hand. You had Ra licking it off.
Ra loved it.
He loved it, yeah. And dogs and cats usually don't complain about it because it doesn't taste like crap. It doesn't make them feel like crap. It's okay, right? So for your pets, anything else? Are we using this for anything else?
Well, I can recall some people take, if they're out drinking, I suppose it's town water or whatever at a restaurant, they will put a drop or two of water in that water to purify the water before it.
Oh, good
And
idea.
I know Marcy will put it in her eyelash
Mascara.
mascara. Yes, thank you. Put a drop in that, you know, so make sure that if there's any mercury in that, that it's absorbed, and so people won't mix it in with their cosmetics.
Yes, with cosmetics. That's a good one because cosmetics are pretty toxic. What makes mascara dark? Usually it's lead. Lead. Hair dye, mascara, things like that. Anything with color, children's toys.
Mhm.
Yeah. They're full of lead. A lot of them are full of lead. So put it in your cosmetics, in the cream that you're using on your face, or um yeah, you could put it in your shampoo if you wanted to. I kind of like the idea of just putting some, on the scalp
Just
after
rub it in your scalp.
and rub it in.
And
Yeah.
you know, mascara has a very short shelf life. I mean, within a few months, I think it would be semi-dangerous. You know what I mean? All the bacteria is
Okay.
is in that. So either
Gosh, I
that
quit using
or
that years ago.
nano silver, put
Yeah.
nano silver on it.
You can put your nano silver in. Okay, so uses for nano silver now. Did you know that where did I put nano silver? Oh, yes. So my apple tree made beautiful apples. Usually they're so terrible I can't eat the apples, but I found out they make great juice. So I got my juicer out and I put my apples from my apple tree, the apples that weren't so wonderful to eat, but they made great juice. I put nano silver in the apple juice
Huh.
because it would have fermented otherwise. I wouldn't have been able to keep up with drinking. I'm not going to drink quarts at a time, right? It's a lot of juice. But if I put nano silver in the juice, it doesn't go bad. It doesn't ferment.
If it was fermented, Rosemary, you might be a lot more fun.
Oh. I'll remember that.
We can toast with you.
I think the fermentation turns it to vinegar, not to alcohol.
Oh, rats, okay.
Larry and I used the nano silver when we were traveling. I sprayed it on our pillows and sheets in the motel room.
Oh my goodness. Okay, nano on sheets. I want to point out one more use for Cell Defender that I remember Marcy saying years ago. When she first started, I don't think she's doing this anymore, but when she first started, she wore a bottle of our Cell Defender. And why did she do that? Because she was on the phone and on the computer all the time. And energetically, it shielded her from stuff energetically. Did she consume it after? No, she put it out in the bird baths. That's where she put it. So it was still helpful for the birds, but she wasn't taking on the energy.
Anything.
And could I add to that, Rosemary, that those birds, she had different bird baths, and the one that they were always drawn to was the one she put the zeolite in.
Gee, how about that?
They're smart.
Oh, yeah. Of course, because it tasted better, they felt better, energetically it was better. So can you wear a bottle of zeolite? Yes, you can wear it.
You could get one of those really pretty little vials that people
Mhm,
wear.
mhm. And you can also, I'm going to add what I use it for. I anoint.
I know, yeah.
I anoint with Cell Defender. So with my clients, I have them hold out their hand, and I put about, I don't know, 5 or 8 drops in the palm of their hand, and I say, dip a finger, anoint your third eye, dip a finger, anoint your crown. And I give them some words to say that they're opening, that they're clearing, back of the neck, heart, wrists, bottom of the feet. We do an anointing ceremony because this energy that we get from this very pure crystal, this is the cleanest crystal probably on the planet. I will say probably the cleanest crystal on the planet because it has been actively and purposely cleaned. And so it is pure. It's pure energy and it's tiny. So it's like millions of little kidneys going through your blood. So where are we going with this? We've got this list here of ways to use our product. So when we're having conversations with people and they're talking about their eyes, their sinuses, their cut, their infection, their feet, their pain, you can fortify them with a list or with a thing on the list of, hey, have you ever tried this? In other words, ask a question. No, what are you talking about? Tell me more, right? So you're creating curiosity. You're not saying, hey, I have something for you and I can sell it to you. No, 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 no. Have you tried this? And if they go to, oh, my doctor has me on whatever, you say, oh, are you open to something natural? Keep asking questions until you get some sort of receptive or a wall. You might get a wall. That's all right. Next, go to the next one. Yeah. Let's see what else I have on my list. Be indispensable. What does that mean? Keep track of the time. It's almost 5 o'clock. I just have a couple of more. Be indispensable.
Be a great source of resource and support for them.
And if your product is indispensable, they won't want to run out, right?
Right.
Because we have a list of ways we can use our Cell Defender. Let's make a lead magnet. Let's put it out in a newsletter. Let's share it with people. Let's say, hey, have you thought about this? Be indispensable so that they won't run out. You know what I've discovered people notice? They notice that when they run out, they don't sleep as well, their energy isn't as good, their dog doesn't eat as well, they're not feeling good, they don't have the energy. In other words, they start going back downhill. Yeah, because our stuff is indispensable. As soon as they know it's indispensable, they won't want to run out. And we don't want them to run out, not because necessarily it's a sales thing, but we want them to be well so that they can tell other people, so we can help them tell other people. Right? You and I are the marketing. We're not going to sell advertising. We're not going to be like Toyota or Taco Bell or whatever. We're not going to do that, but we're going to tell our story often. We're going to ask questions. We're going to make connections. We are the marketing because we have so much more power than an ad. The power we have comes from heart to heart connections, telling the story, listening to people. This is how we market. This is how we do business, by helping people. So are we good for today?